What's up guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to get unstuck from that 8-bar loop and turn it into a full arrangement. Ready? Let's go. Okay, so I made this 8-bar loop idea the other day. It sounds like this. Like really mellow and fluffy, just the way I like it. So what you can see here is that I have already done some work. I have color coded everything, so it's more easy for you to follow along. All of this orange areas up here, these elements are my synths and my e-pianos and so on. Then I obviously have my bass here in the red. The blue the elements are my drums. And then down here I have some effects and some texture loops, the purple ones, pink ones. So this technique that I'm going to show you is actually not really difficult to do. It's actually just a matter of highlighting everything in your loop and just copying it across all the way until you think, okay, now my track is long enough. Because we have all of these different elements. Usually when I do my loops, I actually build everything that I need for the full track. And then I just do this where I'm just copying everything across until I have maybe 3 minutes of audio, 3 to 4 minutes of audio. And then I actually just start to delete the elements. So that's basically what we're going to do in this video. And then we're going to do some tweaking, some automation work and adding maybe some effects here and there. So basically what we're going to do is in FL Studio, we're just going to highlight everything up here. So like this. And then you can press Ctrl and B to duplicate it across. On Mac, I think it might be Command B, but I'm not sure. Try to look that in the manual of FL Studio. So let's just do it. So now we're just going to copy this across a lot of times. And we can look up here at the timer here. So I think now I have just above 3 minutes of audio. I think that is enough for me. So we can just uncheck the loop. So now this might look a little bit silly because it's just like the full loop going for almost 3 minutes. But now we can actually start to sketch out the track and the song structure. So in FL Studio, we have something really cool that is markers. I have perhaps mentioned this before in some of my other videos. So basically what we're going to do is that we're going to add a marker to signal where our different areas and sections of the track is going to be. It's just much easier for us to then look at the structure and figuring out what kind of elements that we want to have in the different section. So that could be an intro, it could be like a kind of verse breakdown and a build-up. And then you can have like a drop. You can have a drop part A or part B, and then you can have like a breakdown and so on. So that's basically what we're going to do now. So I think I want to have the intro, start with that. So you go here to this triangle, go down to time markers, add one, and then we call this intro. So now I am maybe sure that I want to have the intro playing all the way to around here, because that's usually like long enough for like me to do some stuff that kind of introduces the song, some of the elements. It could be like I have like an arpeggiator in here that I want to slowly introduce into the track. Then I will maybe have like, let's call this like a breakdown something. And this could go on for like the next bar here. And then I probably want to have the build up to start taking pace. So we put in the build up. And then obviously we just want to have the drop playing here. So let's go here and set one more. So what I have done the last couple of 2 to maybe 3 years is actually dividing my drops up to a part A and a part B. So basically what it means is that I have 2 different sections of my drop. So that could be like the first section is playing with some drum elements, then going to the other section, the part B. Maybe I will drop out some drum elements or add something just to give the track a sense of change and pace. You could also add another synth sound, or you can change the MIDI pattern of a synth that you're already playing in the first part of the drop, and and then going to drop B, you do some kind of change, and it just feels more alive and more dynamic to the listener, in my opinion, at least. So let's call this drop 1, and then we can call this A. And then we can keep on doing this, maybe have like the drop 1 here, and then do the drop 1 B. So I know this video is a little bit like step by step, but I think this is really crucial for you to get better at actually finishing your songs. Because let's face it, we all have a lot of 8-bar loops on our hard drives, and the magic moment is actually to turn this into a finished song. So, and that's like my biggest struggle ever, like for so many years. But then I just got a grasp on actually how I could be better at structuring my ideas instead. So now we're actually ready to do a breakdown. And maybe I actually just want to have this area here as the breakdown and then go into the build-up again. So don't have like a too long section here where the drop is not playing. So let's call this like build up. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly check like how long each section feels. Yeah, that would be fine for like a breakdown, a small breakdown. And then we have the build up here, and then we can just like basically just copy like the same setup that we did for drop 1 and just call this A, and go on here and do it the same thing for, let's see here, drop 2 B. So what you could do if you want to add some extra change, we could do what's called like a bridge section. So basically you could have like the same loop here going on, and then you can just swap up some ideas or add some extra synth stuff that just changes. For the sake of this tutorial, let's just try it out and see if we can do something cool. So I will make like a bridge section here, and then we have actually just break that. Oh, sorry, that's drop number 3. But I don't want to have like a A and B section here, because I will basically just do what's called like a, for me, like a build down. So basically what this means is that I'm stripping off some drum elements and some elements to just basically just break down the song in until I get to the last section here, which is the outro. So that's pretty cool. We actually have the skeleton right now. So we can actually start by just going through each section and just deleting stuff that we don't want to have here. Okay, I know you're enjoying this video right now, but I really need your help. Only 14% of you guys are subscribed to my YouTube channel, so do me a huge favor and smash that subscribe button for more awesome tutorials. That's all, thank you so much. Now let's get back to the video. So I know for the fact that I have this Jupiter ARP here playing, and I don't want to have the bass playing, the kick drum, maybe have the kick drum to kick in at the breakdown instead. I want to have the clap, but not all of these like snares and hi-hats. It's too busy in the beginning. Basically, we can just swap out everything. I have a shaker hit here. Maybe that could work for like a starting crash thing. So that works pretty well for like more like slowly paced. What we could do with the Jupiter ARP here is that I can go to my mixer track. Then I can go grab a filter, just a fruity filter. Then I'm basically just gonna do like a low pass filter to just slowly introduce this. So it's not just playing the same like sound throughout the whole track. There are like some dynamic changes. Okay, so I think that's like it for the intro. I just want to have a minimum amount of elements playing in the intro. Then for the breakdown, I will start to introduce some more elements. So obviously the bass, I will keep that for the drops. So for the breakdown, we could actually introduce the kick drum, but I don't want to have all of these drum elements playing. So this extra snare, I'm gonna save that for the drop. I think this hi-hat loop is okay to include. I want to remove like these 909 hi-hats along with the boom bap hi-hats, the perk, I'm gonna also remove, and also like these top loops here. And also this sidechain effect down here. We could use this extra cymbal crash. Yes. This synth stab up here, I'm gonna remove that, but I'm gonna keep the E piano. And for the build-up, I will actually drop out the kick drum and the ride loop here. We could introduce the top loop 1 here. And then, let's see. And here I want to actually do like a low pass for the Jupiter ARP. So it's just slowly being low passed. And then right when the drop hits, we're gonna introduce it again. And then I will actually, this like Atmos loop here, I will just delete it here. Maybe just have a little bit, and then just fade it out just before the drop. Same with the drums, just have some silence here just before everything hits. So right now, obviously we're missing a lot of effect sounds, risers and stuff. I'm basically just showing you how you can quickly just grab all of your elements that you have already in your 8-bar loop and sketching them out. Then you can start applying all of the details with the riser loops, the sweeps, and so on. So what I want to do, like, because I want to keep some of the firepower for the drop part B. So the Atmos loop, I'm not going to drop that in drop 1. Maybe the synth stabs up here, I'm also going to save those. Then I have this ride loop down here. I will also save that for drop part B, because then I have some extra elements that I can add to the drop part B. And what I could actually also do, I could do like this low pass filter effect on the Jupiter ARP again when the drop B is hitting. So it's playing with a little bit of low pass. So it's not the same sound in the part A. It's a different sound in part B because of the low passing. So we're moving a little bit of the top end. Actually turn those synth stabs up a little bit. They're a little bit too low in the mix. And then between drop drop 1A and the B part, I could do the same thing with just dropping out some drums. It's a really effective way of doing some small changes that are noticeable in your arrangement, because it just creates that like dynamic change. I want to keep this like small fill for the hats that's here with these boom bap hats. It has like some kind of a shuffle feel to them. Okay, so for the last part before the breakdown, I will basically drop everything. Maybe like have the kick, or sorry, the clap, but like everything, just drop it out. Maybe just have a little bit of the heads. Okay, fine, because that's really great for like a fill. So for the breakdown, I'm gonna remove like the E piano, the synth stabs, and of course the kick drum and the organ bass. Actually, the kick drum, I'm gonna introduce this right here in the middle of the breakdown. Then ride loop is gonna disappear, top loop 2 and 1 as well, and also maybe remove these 909 hi-hats. Let's have a listen. Also these boom bap hi-hats. Extra snares are also gonna go. Now the kick drum is playing. And then here we can start to introduce some more stuff. We can do the same thing with the Jupiter Arp, just try to slowly get it away and then fade it up again with the low pass filter. So here I also want to do like just before the drop, I'm going to remove actually a little bit more than I did last time in the other build-up, just to make a little bit of a change. Then we can cut out this part here of the Atmos loop up here. Again, we're also going to drop the Atmos loop in drop 2 part A. We're also going to remove the ride loop. Gonna keep that for drop 2 part B. And basically I will just copy like the same settings that I have, the same structure for this first drop. Gonna use the same one for the drop 2 because it just works for me. So we can just highlight everything and just do this with a small fade. So we have like this. Okay, so now we're coming to that bridge section where we can switch up things a little bit. So what we can do, that's maybe like the easiest part, is maybe just pitch up the Jupiter Arp 1 octave. So what we're gonna do before the bridge, we're just gonna remove a little bit of the drums. So again, I'm also doing like the small gap here. I'm gonna remove the ride loop in the bridge. Bass. And here I will remove the kick drum and maybe keep top loop 1. Okay. And then we could remove the synth steps just to create a little bit of a change so they're not playing throughout the whole track. Then we can go here to the Jupiter Arp. We can click the pattern here when we get this hand pointing. Then we open the menu. We can just make a unique. Then it's cloning the pattern. Then we can just go into the MIDI and then we can try to see if this works by switching this up 1 octave. And we could do like having the low pass filter, so it's not too bright. Then we can slowly increase it. And then right here, I will basically just strip all the drums away, so we get some silence. And then it just goes back into the drop 3 with all of my elements, actually all of my elements from my initial 8-bar loop. And this is just where everything is at the highest peak. So we can just go through drop 3 and we can just do some small things before we're going into the build down. So for the build down, I'm gonna remove these synth stabs here. I'm gonna do some automation with the filter for the Jupiter Arp, just to build that down. And then combining with the build down and the outro, I'm gonna remove the bass for the outro along with the kick drum. And we're gonna keep these Atmos here. We could make like a small like mute section here with the drums again. I'm not gonna use the ride loops, it's gonna be too intense. We could also strip away the top loop 2. Also these boom bap hats. we're gonna do a little bit of removing some drums here in this area. Maybe also this one, we can just do a fade. Yes, I think this works. Just going down. Okay, pretty cool. Like now we have actually built a sketched out full arrangement of the track. So now it's just a matter of adding all those details like build-ups, risers, sweeps, and some stuff. Also adding some more automation. So I can quickly just show you what I will do like in terms of a build-up, adding some stuff to a build-up and towards the drop. So you get like the idea of like what I mean about adding some details and stuff. So for the build-up, I can add, let me just open up my splice. I have this cool drum build-up thing here. Yes. So I'm just gonna add this one down here. And then we're gonna time stretch it so it fits the tempo of my track. Turn off load regions. And stuff like this. We could actually just take it out right here, just before, and then do a small fade. So that's really cool for like an uplifter kind of effect. We can also add in like some more like sweeping stuff here. Also trying to get like match the tempo of the track. And we're gonna do like a cut here. And then turn it down a little bit. That's like some elements that you can add. We can also add like I think I have like a cool like tape spin effect that I use too much. Let's just time stretch it so it fits the tempo right here. And we're just gonna put this to a generic mode so we can do some cross fading of the audio. Turn it down. So yeah, that's like one way that you can add a little bit of extra like texture and some extra effects. We could also go and grab like I call those like simple transitions that go. These are like really great at using when you're going from like a drop to like maybe a more quiet section, like a breakdown or something. So I can just add one here when we're going out of the drop one, like the B part. We have this sound here. It's a really, really great effect. We can do that the same thing for like the bridge over here. What more could we do? We could maybe, yeah. So one really cool tip, which is my like last tip for this video because it's gonna be too long, is that you can go and actually go to the master channel in FL Studio, and we can go and grab some like effects that we can put on the master bus. So we can put like a volume plugin on, so we can do some like just decreasing the volume just before the drop. If you have seen any of my like other videos, you know like that I love to do this effect because it just gives your track like your drops a little bit more of like an impact. So set this to around here. That's like one way of doing it. We can also go maybe and add, let's say, like I also like to do like this like stereo effect. So basically what we're gonna do is that we're gonna decrease the width of so like this. So basically like the stereo width is being decreased when the builder is playing, and then it just drops down to normal when the drop hits. That's also a really great way of adding like extra like punch to your drops and also to like your build-ups. And we could also do like, the last thing we could do is that we could maybe add like a reverb actually. Put a little bit of decay, size, high cut, and so then we can just automate the width level. And do this also for like the drop here. And then we can zoom in a little bit and do like this, and then make it drop just before like everything hits. So we get a little bit more like a washed out effect just before the drop. So all of these things that I'm doing here, I will also like do them to some extent in all the other sections of the song structure that we just sketched out. For me, it's now much more easier because I have put in all of the markers, so I know what's going to happen everywhere. I have put in all of my most crucial and important elements that I built in my 8-bar loop. They are now sketched out throughout the whole song structure. And now it's just a matter of going and tweaking a little bit. And now you have like a little bit more like a clear picture of where your song is being taken and can be taken. When I look at an 8-bar loop, it's really hard for me to see where this song is gonna go. How long should it be? How many drops? How long should the drop be? How long should the breakdown be? Like all of these elements. So by doing this, you just limit yourself to sticking to this particular song structure. Another way that you also could do this is that you can just drag in one of your favorite songs by your favorite artists, analyze the track, and then put in the different markers of what section the track is in. So look at how long the intro is of that track, how long is the drop, when are the drop hitting, when are the breakdown hitting, how long is the breakdown, and so on. And then put in the markers, and then you can just sketch out your own like elements into that like song structure. For me, this is a huge game changer of doing this instead of just trying to figure out stuff on my own when I have like that 8-bar loop, just replaying it and re-looping it. It's really difficult to like have the vision and picture how the song could actually turn out. So this is like my favorite approach of finishing my 8-bar loop ideas. And I really hope that it helped you as well. And it inspired you and also make you want to like try this out yourself. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this really long video. It's a little bit raw, but it's just to show you like the process that I go through in my head and how I go from an 8-bar loop to a full like song structure. If you liked the video, it would mean so much to me if you would smash that like button or even subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss any future videos on the channel. I have also launched a Discord server for producers. It's a place where like-minded producers can join up and share their track ideas, get feedback, provide feedback, and generally just hang out and talk a lot about music. And I would love to get you around. You can join the Discord via the link in the description down below. If you want to support me even further, you can go to my web shop and browse some of my sample packs and preset pack. The link is in the description down below. So I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Peace.